Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320. I am back for a brand new TV review of the show Flash. This hit series has been an amazing ride, like from top to beginning. Like, of course, y'all know I've loved Arrow and I've been like loving Gotham, but like, I mean, the Flash is right there up with one of the top shows out right now. And then this weekend, Walking Dead is about to make its return. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Matter of fact, about Walking Dead, I was considering the next season, actually trying to do kind of like how I'm doing with Gotham and actually reviewing every episode. And if y'all think that that's something y'all like to see, I'm more than willing to try. I'm not saying I ever do every one. Just like y'all seen, I've been inconsistent with the Arrow reviews. And so I debated today doing back-to-back Arrow reviews from the last episode and this one. So I think that's what I'm going to do after this. Anyway, segue into The Flash. So the name of this episode was Crazy for You, alright? So the synopsis reads, Caitlin brings Barry out to a karaoke bar, hoping that they will both meet someone new. Cisco thinks about Hartley's dangerous proposition, and Henry's snooping gets him into trouble. So this episode I thought was really fun episode because for a couple reasons. Like, you got to see different levels of Cisco being the hero. You got to see Caitlin being vulnerable around Barry on different kind of levels, not just an emotional level, but a physical level. And you got to see Barry getting out of his shell, like trying to be anything outside of being a hero. And it's the beginning stages because, you know, every hero knows, and even I think Oliver alluded to this, that you can't keep Iris in your life because this will ruin like what you're ultimately destined to do, which is save people. Like, she's always going to be put in danger because of it. So it's interesting to see Barry in a position to be able to be in a romantic relationship. And so beginning of the episode starts off with Barry saving people as normal, and it's really interesting seeing with the family and how now everybody in the city is like kind of looking up to him and like aspiring, like, man, this is a symbol for good, you know, people can actually see him versus him just being around flashing all over the place. Pun intended. But then he goes and there's a conversation that's made with Cisco and Caitlin, and Cisco basically tells Caitlin, like, you don't have a life, you know, and you say that you're trying to get over like your husband turning into a ball of flame and like forgetting everything, but you don't really seem like you're doing that. And so I guess Caitlin goes and talks to Barry, and it's really interesting banter between those two. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if there ends up being a romantic arc with them two. But given Caitlin's ultimate like destiny and Barry's, I mean, they're gonna collide in a negative way. If anybody doesn't know what Caitlin's backstory is, Caitlin Snow, look her up. Look her up. Anyway, but in this episode it's really funny because they go to the bar because they're like, okay, we're in our 20s, we should be dating around, and it's really obvious that Caitlin is saying this, but she's like trying to get her courage up, and she doesn't know. I think there's kind of like this tension going on between her and Barry. And then what's so funny in this episode is like they go to a karaoke thing. Now, if any of y'all don't know, Grant Gustin came from Glee, and so Grant Gustin can actually sing. And so you hear Caitlin out there drunk and trying to sing, and then Barry just gets on the mic, he just like kills it. And it's just so funny from that point on because it introduces, segues to a new character, which is Linda Park. Any of y'all don't know, Linda Park was a big factor in the Wally West story arc, more so than the Barry Allen. So I'm not sure how they're gonna play into this. And not just that, I think it's two different time frames. It's really weird how they're gonna bring her into it, but it fits. It fits. I mean, not just that, they picked a person from the Vampire Diaries, which I really love. She played the character Anna, that I think was there's a love triangle thing going on with her, Jeremy. Anyway, but she plays Linda Park in this one. It's really interesting because she kind of goes up to him nonchalant, like, you sing really good, or she kind of flirts with him a little bit. It's really good manner. It's really good, fun kind of appeal. Like, I think the creators and the people that make this, they know how to bridge the gap between different folds, because you got that arc going on where afterwards, like, Barry has to go and kind of help out Caitlin because she's totally wasted, and you see the good side of Barry in this one. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some interesting moments in this episode, especially during that scene. But the stuff that's going on with Cisco is even more interesting. And I'm beginning this, that's the thing about I love about this show and Gotham, is I've only talked about one side of the story. It's three different things always going on. So you have Barry that's also being the hero, and you got a new person in the fold that knows how to teleport. They can only teleport where they see in their peripheral vision. But this girl, she breaks somebody out of prison. You start seeing she got different layers to her, and she actually is a villain in the DC universe. And so I can't tell you what her name is, but it's going to be revealed ultimately in it. Now, I think that was eye candy for the action scenes in me, and looking at it, especially the end result, the end scene, how Barry has to ultimately try to stop this person. It was a really cool scene. I really liked it. But now what they could have done more with the character, I feel like they could have explored a little bit more. But I think it's gonna go later on, because one of the things, I don't know if y'all have thought about it, is that you got all these people that you're putting in containers, right? But at every single time they put somebody in the container, Barry has his mask off. It's not like he's still the Flash. Like, these people see him. And so I'm like, what happens if this thing like goes out? Because in this episode, you get to see that there's a security breach, and it's not necessarily an unintentional one. It was an intentional one, because segue into the other arc, which is Cisco's trying to talk to Hartley. Hartley was the pirate from the last episode, and he does not trust Hartley at all, but he feels as though Hartley might know what's going on with Ronnie, or what we know of Firestorm. And it's some interesting revelations that go on. But one of the things I liked about this interaction is that Cisco's not afraid to get his hands like ready. I was like, Cisco got bucked one of these times in this episode, y'all. It was really cool interaction. Now, as I said before, Cisco has an interesting arc, opposite of Caitlyn's. It's just really interesting how they're gonna introduce him into that character he's ultimately gonna be probably in like next 2 seasons. So it was really interesting to see Cisco being the hero and really breaking down the layers to him and talking to Caitlyn about stuff that he regrets and guilt and stuff like that. But it was really good, interesting dynamics. And then you got Iris in the middle of it, but it's like, I don't know, it's so much going on that you can't even filter in the subtle moments. Like, there's a subtle moment where Barry is interacting in the prison with his dad, and that's a whole nother arc that I love. I think that one of the things that I loved about Smallville is the relationship between Jonathan and Martha Kent with Clark. Like, it was so subtle and so real and so meted. And in this one, it's the same exact way. Like, I think there was a point where his dad had tried to go and investigate something for Barry for a case, and Barry's like, look, you don't need to be doing that. Like, you need to protect yourself. He's like, I don't have many chances to help anyone in here. And so if any other person on this earth I want to help, is you. Because for years, you've been there. And I was like, hit me. But there's an end sequence that happens, because something happens to Barry's dad at the end that is really just touching, and it was such a great ending. And I think like even with like the character that plays his dad being the older Flash, it's always like this moment of passing down the mantle of certain things that Barry needs, you know, to be the hero that we ultimately know him to be. And it's just such an awesome scene. So I mean, my only critiques about this episode is I don't understand why the villain couldn't have been fleshed out a little bit more, and why every time that they put somebody in this container that Barry has his suit off. Like, why? Anyway, that's not even the end. The total end, you know, always after the title comes up, there's always something that's a segue to the next one. This was unexpected. It wasn't Firestorm at all. This is the reveal of a villain that they've only hinted at in, I think, like the 6th episode, but oh my gosh, I'm not gonna spoil it here, but it was awesome. Anyway, I would give this episode probably a 9 out of 10 just because of the anticipation of what happened. Only reason I don't give it a 10 is just because some stuff just didn't flesh out right as far as the villain and why they're doing certain things. But always, it never disappoints. If y'all would like for me to try to do, and this is gonna be hard for me, I can start doing spoiler reviews for Flash or for Arrow. Now, I need for y'all to help me out here. If y'all want this to happen, I need y'all to go down to the bottom and please comment yes. If I get at least maybe 3 or 4 people that say, yes, Sam, go and do spoiler reviews for the Flash or for Arrow, for whatever, for Gotham, then I will do it. Whatever y'all would say, then I'll try to do that. And hopefully y'all enjoyed my review for today. And get ready for my Arrow review coming up next. Anyway, This is SCL 0320 signing out like a flash. Later!